Good afternoon, everybody. We are breaking into your regularly scheduled programming on ABC 23, Fox 8, and also WJAC. Due to some severe weather moving through the area, we did have another tornado warning just issued over the past minute or two, and this one is now for some of our northern counties. We are going to take a look at that tornado warning, the severe weather that we are going to experience throughout the rest of the day. So we will stick with you through the end of this tornado warning. But taking a look at this on our Doppler 6 satellite and radar, this tornado warning was just issued about a minute or so ago for portions of Elk County. For those areas that are in this red polygon that you see here, that is also within a severe thunderstorm warning. The severe thunderstorm warning was issued a few minutes ago, as that storm is capable of producing up to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as some torrential rain. And we also were watching some rotation within that storm, and that is what prompted that tornado warning this afternoon. So we are taking a look at that on Doppler 6 satellite and radar. This tornado warning will be in effect for about the next 20 minutes or so, and we are going to continue to stick with you through the entirety of this warning. And if it is extended, we will continue coverage there as well. So this tornado warning does include St. Mary's, and this is actually a very slow moving storm. This storm is only moving off to the east at around 25 miles per hour. The storms that we were seeing earlier today were moving a little bit quicker. So this storm moving off to the east at around 25 miles per hour, and it is capable of producing a tornado. We don't have any reports of a confirmed tornado on the ground yet, but we are seeing that radar indicated rotation, which we will get to in just a few seconds. So this storm was located over Johnsonburg at around 2:18 p.m. And I am going to just throw a storm cone on this really quick, and that's going to show you where this storm will be heading throughout the entirety of this tornado warning over the next around 20 to about 25 minutes. So we are going to put a storm cone on this moving off to the east. We'll actually extend it out for the next about half hour or so, because even though this storm, this tornado warning rather, is only in effect for the next 25 minutes, we still do have that severe thunderstorm warning, as this storm is capable of producing some strong winds and some torrential rain. So we are going to just change the speed of this storm here down to around 20 miles per hour, as this storm is moving just a little bit slower as compared to the ones that we were seeing earlier today. So we are going to throw this storm cone on here for the next around 30 to 35 minutes. Some towns this may be entering, that does include St. Mary's right now, in Calmont at around 2:32 p.m. So if you are within portions of Elk and even Cameron counties, you will want to get in your safe spots now. As here's a look at, we'll take a look at some of that velocity now. So velocity is what we look at when we try to see that rotation within the storm. So what we look for, I'll zoom in close to where we are seeing that storm now. What we look for in velocity is the two colors that you see here, reds and greens. Those are indicating winds that are moving toward and also away from the radar. So what we look for when we are looking for that radar indicated rotation is both the greens and reds turning a little bit darker and also coming close together. And that's exactly what we are seeing here just to the west of St. Mary's. This area that I'm circling right here is where we are seeing that radar indicated rotation. That's where we are seeing those reds and greens coming very close together, indicating that that storm is showing some rotation. So if you are within these highlighted areas here, this does include portions of Elk County for the tornado warning. And then the areas highlighted in orange here, still under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that does include portions of Elk and also Cameron counties. So if you are within these two highlighted polygons here, the red and the orange, again, this does include St. Mary's. You will want to get into your safe spot now. Best place to go if you are within your house right now is to get to the basement. If you are outside or know anybody else that is outside, tell them to get inside immediately if they are within the path of this storm. Best place to go will be the basement, but if you don't have a basement, best place to go will be anywhere that you could avoid windows, doors, or outside walls. So that would be an interior closet, maybe an interior bathroom, hallway, or a staircase. Also, a good tip will be to cover yourself with blankets, a mattress, maybe even put a helmet on to prevent getting hit by potential flying debris. But again, safest place to be within a home is a basement if you do have one. Also, On top of that tornado warning, we also are seeing some torrential rain, and we have seen that throughout most of the morning and even into this afternoon, prompting the potential for some flooding. Flood watch in effect for the counties highlighted here. We even do have a flood warning in effect for Indiana County. And even if you are watching this right now, wondering why we're on the air, if not the entire area is seeing severe weather, the potential is there. A severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for the entire area through later tonight, as we are under a level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather today, meaning that all threats are on the table. Tornado potential, which we are already seeing this afternoon, strong straight line wind gusts, flooding, and also the potential for some hail. So even if you aren't within this tornado warning that we are breaking in for right now, you still will want to remain weather aware throughout the rest of the afternoon and even well into tonight, as severe weather is possible for everyone today. So we are going to go back to Doppler 6 satellite and radar now. And if you are just joining us, we are breaking into your coverage on both ABC 23, Fox 8, and WJAC this afternoon due to some severe weather. We already had one tornado warning earlier this afternoon, and we did just have another one issued just a few minutes ago now for some of our northern counties. As taking a look at Doppler 6 satellite and radar, the storm that we are keeping a very close eye on for potential tornado development is into Elk County. It's taking a look at that on satellite and radar. This red shaded area that you see here, that does include St. Mary's. This storm likely moving through St. Mary's just about right now. That's where we are watching that radar indicated rotation. So if you are within this highlighted area into Elk and Cameron counties, you will want to be in your safe spot now. Still have a way to listen to this broadcast to get that safety information, and still have a way to receive watches and warnings, but you will want to get in your safe spot, whether it be in an interior bathroom, hallway, or especially into your basement. This tornado warning was issued just a few minutes ago, and it will be in effect for around the next 15 minutes or so. Latest information from the National Weather Service is that this storm was last located over Johnsonburg, and it is capable of producing a tornado, but we don't have any reports of a tornado on the ground just yet. This warning still in effect for around the next 15 minutes or so, and it also is a very slow moving storm. This storm is only moving off to the east at around 25 miles per hour. We're seeing some strong wind gusts, and also what we look for when we are looking for potential tornadic activity is that radar indicated rotation, which we are going to see now. And also when we are looking at satellite and radar, we look for something called a hook echo, and that is what indicates potentially supercellular structure within a thunderstorm. That means it is capable of producing that rotation and a tornado. And then we look at velocity, which is something we've talked a lot about when we do see those tornado warnings earlier today and now. So here's a look at that velocity. What we look for here is the greens are showing winds that are going toward the radar. Red showing those winds that are going away from the radar. So what we want to look for here when we are seeing that potential rotation is those two colors darkening and also coming closer together. And that's what we are seeing just about right over St. Mary's this afternoon. You can see those greens and reds coming very close together. I will zoom in a little bit so we can see where that rotation is, and also circle it for you so we could get just a better idea of what we are looking at this afternoon. So the area that we just circled there is that radar indicated rotation that we're looking at. Looks like that rotation just beginning to move to the south of St. Mary's. So St. Mary's, you will want to be in your safe spots right now and over the next around 10 to up to 15 minutes. Also, if you do know anybody on any roadways this afternoon, perhaps traveling on 219 into Route 120, Route 948 as well, looks like this storm is just beginning to cross some of those highways. We will zoom in a little bit closer there. Route 255 as well, Route 120, it looks like that's where this storm is just beginning to cross over. So we are continuing to see that radar indicated rotation. We did just get an update on that from the National Weather Service as well. So this tornado warning is going to remain in effect for around the next 15 minutes or so until around 2:45 this afternoon. We will continue to stick with you until this warning is either allowed to expire or does move out of the area. So this storm was is capable of producing a tornado. It was located just over St. Mary's is the last location. So again, St. Mary's, you will want to be in your safe spots now. So if you are in a vehicle or a mobile home, that is going to be not a very safe spot to be. We'll want to get to either a building or safer structure. If you are within your home right now and you are listening to this safety information on the broadcast, you will want to get in a basement. That is the absolute best place to be during a tornado warning, is your basement. But if you don't have one, any interior room away from outside walls or windows will be one of the best places to be. So here's a look at a map of some good places to go if you are within this tornado warning. Again, this is for Elk County, more specifically St. Mary's, as that's where we are seeing that radar indicated rotation. Best place to be will be the basement if you have one. If you do not have a basement, best places to be will be these green areas here. A staircase, an interior hallway, closet, or a bathroom away from windows, doors, and outside walls. Also, might be important to try and cover yourself with blankets, a mattress, or even put a helmet on to protect yourself from potential flying debris. But again, basement is the absolute best place to be if you are within the path of this potentially tornadic thunderstorm. So we are going to just take a look at this storm on satellite and radar once again. Once this loads, we'll get a closer look here. So here's a look at that potentially tornadic thunderstorm moving through St. Mary's this afternoon. This tornado warning also within a severe thunderstorm warning. So even if you aren't within this red highlighted area here and you are within the orange highlighted area into Elk and Cameron counties, still going to want to get into your safe spot, as this storm is still capable of producing a tornado, of course, and as well as some torrential downpours and some strong wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour. So we are going to take just a closer look at this on satellite and radar. We are going to take out our watch warning outline as well as the lightning so we could get a little bit better look at this storm. So this is the storm that we are looking at moving through St. Mary's this afternoon. And a lot of things that we look for, again, are the velocity that we've been talking about for the past few minutes or so. But then we also are looking for something called a hook echo, and that's what we look for on radar. So I'm going to circle that for you here. What we are looking is right there, that circled area. You can kind of see the storm starting to hook out a little bit. That's indicating that there is rotation within this storm, and that storm is capable of producing a tornado. So we are going to put our warnings back on here and get a closer look at that. So again, if you are just joining us, we are breaking into your normally scheduled coverage on Fox 8, ABC 23, as well as WJAC due to the fact that we do have another tornado warning issued this afternoon. We are going to stick with this tornado warning coverage until this warning is either allowed to expire or moves out of our area. So this tornado warning so far this afternoon is into central and eastern Elk counties. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing that tornado was just located around 4 to 5 minutes ago directly over St. Mary's and is moving very slowly at around 25 miles per hour. So far we have not still had any confirmation of a tornado on the ground. We are just still seeing that radar indicated rotation. Could see the potential for flying debris within that rotation as well. So it could be very, very dangerous to anybody caught without shelter. Mobile homes could be damaged and destroyed. We're also expecting tree damage, damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles. So very, very important to get in your safe space if you aren't already. And we are going to zoom out here just a little bit. You may be wondering why we are covering just one tornado warning. Well, the potential for severe weather is there for everybody today, as we are under a level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather today, meaning that really any risk is on the table for any of the portions of our viewing area. We are seeing that potential for tornadoes. That's already materialized so far this afternoon. We'll see the potential for some hail, high winds up to 60 plus miles per hour. And we also will see that potential for some flooding. So areas highlighted here in green, we do have a flood watch in effect for the counties highlighted here, as we have seen some torrential downpours throughout this afternoon and well into this morning, as well as some frequent lightning. A lot of areas already picking up an inch of rainfall today. So we do see that potential for some flooding as that cold front continues to move closer to the area, bringing us that severe weather threat and some torrential downpours, and also the entire area under a severe thunderstorm watch. So what this means is even though we do only have that one warning in effect this afternoon, all the ingredients are there for severe weather for the entirety of our area. So even if you aren't within those warnings in Elk and Cameron counties so far this afternoon, you will want to stay weather aware and have many ways to receive watches and warnings throughout the rest of the afternoon, as severe weather is very likely throughout the rest of the day. So here's a look again at satellite and radar, any updates to that severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning that we are keeping a very close eye on into Elk County. So the tornado warning in effect for the next around 10 minutes or so. This tornado warning still in effect for Elk County until around 2:45 p.m. this afternoon. So taking a look at that on Doppler 6 satellite and radar, the last location that this storm was over was St. Mary's at around 2:30. So if you are within St. Mary's, you will want to be in your safe spot now. We are going to put a storm cone on this as well to kind of see where this storm will be tracking out over the next around 30 to 45 minutes, as this storm is very slow moving. We had a couple of other thunderstorms move through the area earlier today. Those were moving at around 40 to 45 miles per hour. And this one that we are tracking out this afternoon, moving very slowly, around 20 to 25 miles per hour. So we'll put a storm cone on this to see where this storm could potentially be heading over around the next half hour or so, which will take us out past that warning time, but still going to be very important if you are anywhere within this area, even in that severe thunderstorm warning, to keep a very close eye on this storm. So this storm just moving past St. Mary's, and Benzette could expect to see this storm at around 3:03 p.m. So we'll clear these out here. This storm also still producing some frequent lightning and torrential downpours. So even if we aren't seeing a tornado on the ground, there are still many threats on the table from this severe thunderstorm and tornado warning this afternoon. We'll continue to see that threat for some very strong wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour and that torrential rainfall. We actually just did have another severe thunderstorm warning pop up just to the northwest of this storm. So that severe thunderstorm warning in effect through around 3:30 p.m. And that actually is kind of crossing into the areas that tornado warning is in effect for as well. So we'll get some more information on that for you, and then go back to our tornado warning. So the new severe thunderstorm warning issued for north central Elk County. This thunderstorm was last located near Ridgeway, and that storm also moving off to the east very slowly. This storm moving eastward at around 25 miles per hour. This storm capable of producing some very strong wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour. And we are seeing those radar indicated winds. We also are watching some potential rotation within this storm as well. So areas within this severe thunderstorm warning, even though we don't have a tornado warning there, going to be a good idea to try and get into your safe spots, as we are watching some potential radar indicated rotation within this new severe thunderstorm warning that was issued just off to the northwest of the current tornado warning that we are watching this afternoon. So we will switch over to our velocity here, and we'll get a look at actually both of those storms where we are seeing the radar indicated rotation within the current tornado warning. So here's a look at that. Again, what we are looking for within a velocity product is the two colors, green and red, indicating winds that are going toward and away from the radar. When we see those two colors come closer together, like we still are seeing within this storm that's now just moved off to the southeast of St. Mary's, we are still seeing those greens and reds coming pretty close together there. So that's the area that we are looking at for a potential tornadic development, as well as that radar indicated rotation. This will continue to move off to the east. So areas even into southern Elk County and even into Cameron counties. We'll want to keep a close eye on that storm. But now we will move back to that new severe thunderstorm warning that was issued just to the north of the current tornado warning that we're watching. We are seeing a little bit of radar indicated rotation within that storm as well. So again, we are looking for that same thing, those greens and reds coming very close together, and that's what we are starting to see within that storm as well. So we are seeing those reds and greens coming close together. That is another thing that we will keep an eye on for potential tornado warnings and for potential strengthening of that storm as well. But really at this point, it does look like most of our severe weather is within the northern half of the area. We have two severe thunderstorm warnings as well as that tornado warning. within Elk and also into Cameron counties. So if you are within any of these highlighted areas here, you will want to get into your safe spots, as we are seeing a high risk for severe weather today and also that potential for some tornadic development. And really anybody is under the risk for severe weather today, as we are expecting a cold front to move through, bringing us really all sorts of severe weather threats. So even though we only do have warnings into our northern counties right now, the potential for severe weather is there for everyone today. A severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for our entire area, meaning that all of the ingredients for potential severe weather development will be there throughout the rest of the afternoon and even into this evening. So it will be very important to make sure that you have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings throughout the rest of the day. So we will get back to some of the tornado warning that we are tracking, as well as that severe thunderstorm warning. So if you are just joining us this afternoon, we are breaking into your normally scheduled coverage due to the fact that we do have some severe weather moving through our northern counties. And if you are within Elk and Cameron counties this afternoon, you will want to get into your safe spots, as we are seeing large chunks of those counties covered in severe warnings this afternoon. If you are in a vehicle or a mobile home, you will want to get to a safe spot in an interior room, specifically a basement in a house if you do have one. We are keeping an eye on these severe thunderstorm warnings, as well as that tornado warning. We are going to just check in to see if we are getting any updates on either of these severe thunderstorms or the tornado warning. Our tornado warning is currently in effect for Elk County, and that is scheduled to be in effect for around the next 2.5 to 3 minutes. That is currently set to expire at around 2:45 p.m. So we will stick with you on air with coverage of that through the end of that warning. And if that is extended or new tornado warnings are issued, we will be sure to keep you updated with those as well. So here's a look at what we are seeing on current Doppler 6 satellite and radar. Elk and Cameron counties, where our severe weather has been centered so far this afternoon. We still do have that tornado warning in effect for portions of Elk County. I'm actually going to turn off our lightning here so we could get a little bit of a better look at who is actually being impacted by that potential tornado. We haven't had any reports of a tornado on the ground or a confirmed tornado from this storm just yet, but we are still seeing that radar indicated rotation within that storm, and that's tornado warning still set to expire in around 2 minutes or so. But now there are some other things that we do have to keep an eye on. That severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for areas just to the north of that tornado warning, it will be entering the same environment that radar indicated rotation was seen in. That storm now moving just off to the south of St. Mary's. But now we are keeping an eye on this severe thunderstorm just off to the north. We are seeing the potential for some torrential downpours, strong wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour. And we also are watching that severe thunderstorm for some potential rotation. We will jump back over now to our velocity so we could take a look at where we are seeing some of that radar indicated rotation. So again, we've looked at this quite a few times so far this afternoon to see where we are seeing the radar indicated rotation within these tornado warnings. We are still seeing a little bit of that rotation. I'll circle that for you here. That is now just off to the south of St. Mary's. So it does look like this storm clearing out of St. Mary's and also starting to weaken a bit as that continues to move off to the southeast. But the other storm that we are watching, which is not tornado warned as of now, but we still do have a severe thunderstorm warning on that storm. That is just off to the northwest. So again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning issued for portions of Elk County, just off to the north of where we did have that tornado warning and another severe thunderstorm warning. We are watching some potential radar indicated rotation within that storm there, and we will be sure to bring you any updates for that as the day progresses. But it does look like that first tornado warning has been allowed to expire now that it's 2:45. Stick with us throughout the rest of the day, as we are expecting some more storms to pop up, and we will be back with you if another tornado warning is issued.